Dave was just an amazing person. He was such a big personality and a big package. He's one of those guys that brings childhood innocence to an art form in so many ways, both literal and figurative. He had a way of being the guy you wanted to get a hug from and the guy that you wanted to have your back. And he had a way of inspiring people through the things he created and the things he said and the things he did that very few people I know possess. It was just impressive the way he could make you feel like you were his brother within moments of meeting him. He understood innocence like nobody else. He understood art and creation in a creative sense better than anybody I've ever met. David was a great person. He was a great human being, but he upped the ante by being an amazing artist and a bold creator. And I miss him all the time.
I honestly could not say enough about David and his work, but also as a friend, as a supporter. It's still painful. One of the most influential people in my art career, for somebody who was involved in so many people's beginnings. I think all of us, not just in the local community, but the industry, can think back when they first started. It was David who was like that welcoming arm to like, hey, welcome in, let me show you around. I'll never feel like I ever thanked him enough for all of his efforts and all of his time. And it's a painful realization that no matter how much time you spend with somebody like David, it's never enough. But to anybody out there who's in the creative field, or anybody just like involved in the creative field, just understanding how valuable it is to have somebody who's just genuinely nice and just kind and is like, hey, I know you're new here, let me show you around. It speaks in volumes for everybody. And it's something that will never, ever be forgotten. So again, huge thanks to David Faught and Christy for everything. We love you, buddy. We miss you.
I met Dave years ago at VisionCon, and I'll tell you one thing, that guy's probably one of the most motivated artists that produce so much, man. The guy is just a powerhouse, and he was just, every time you'd see him at a show, he was just always like smiling. He loved everything that everyone did. Everyone. It doesn't matter if they were pro, amateur, coming new to the game, like he just was so welcoming with everyone. And you know, it's just weird. It's like, it's very surreal that he's not with us anymore, but he's definitely gonna live with us here and here, always. So for those of you who are here still, I'm glad that you are here, and I love you. I love you all. And
David was a great artist and kind person, and I don't know, he was just amazing.
David Faught deserves this award for the joy that he brought to the convention. He was at my first convention and drew me a piece for free to encourage me to do conventions. He's been there from the beginning to the end, helping me with my art, with my career in art, I guess you'd say, in comics, and he has never once ever been a critic to the point where it made me want to quit. He always is encouraging, and I can't think of anyone better as a person and as an artist that deserves this. So he's a tremendous man, and he deserves it for sure.
For years, I worked for VisionCon, Comic-Con here in Springfield, Missouri, and the year that we had John Wesley Shipp as our main guest, I had asked David to submit fan art for our cover of our con convention, and we had a contest and he won, and we ended up using his art for the Flash, the original Flash, for our cover art for that convention. And I still have several of them, and he signed one for me and one for my brother. And I've kept them all these years because I can't bring myself to get rid of them.
It was nice art.
It was just such great art and such wonderful memories. Every time when we would do a marketing event at the Branson IMAX or at any event, David would always come, and he would do art for that event. He would bring his own prints to sell. He would make up little posters for whether it was Avengers or Batman or whatever event we were doing. He would always come and do sketches for the guests, and bring his sister Christy, and it was just, I have so many wonderful memories of David. He was just truly a selfless individual. He would just give to anybody his time, his art. He would always do our drink and draws that we would have at VisionCon and Branson Con, and I still have several of his art prints that I still have and keep, and I treasure them, and just like I treasure every memory I have of David. So he has no idea how much he'll be missed.
So David Faught deserves the Brandon Chain Pop Culture Icon Award for a lot of reasons, but I'd like to boil it down to just one. David Faught was a man like any other. Yes, he was incredibly talented, but he also had an uncanny ability to connect with anybody he had the pleasure of talking to. Whether it was somebody who was a big horror fan, or somebody like me who absolutely hates horror, and yet still we had time and found a way to find common ground and actually enjoy each other's presences, and were able to have full-length conversations even though we had almost nothing in common. David Faught will be sorely missed, and David Faught deserves the Brandon Chain Pop Culture Award.
It was such a beautiful soul. Every time I spent around David, he made the world brighter. He made me feel better. He gave me one of his prints once just because I said, I really like that, and I've got it hanging up at home. I miss him. The world is less without him.
I got to meet David on several occasions, mostly at cons, and man, he was just super nice to Josh and I with Nerd Informer. Was always super supportive of what we were doing, and really just overall nice guy. Always wanted to talk about, anytime we did a video with him, always wanted to showcase that he's the guy that drew boobs.
David Faught is very much deserving of any award that man gets, because he is so much. Not only he was so talented, but so full of heart. Both David and Christy Faught were our very first cheerleaders, and they loved us. They invited us to everything that they did, and we invited them to everything that we did. And if it wasn't for David Faught, his heart was so into what he did, but he spread the love of Ghostbusters to everybody he knew. David, we love and miss you so much, but as long as this group is around, man, you will be too. Love you.
David was a fantastic artist, kind, gentle person. He attended VisionCon for, oh my goodness, umpteen years. And it is such a sad loss to the artist community, the gaming community, and the world in general. He will be missed, and we look forward to honoring him in the future.
One of the things that I always really liked about seeing David at a con was just watching him interact with people in his booth. Whenever, people would come up and just, either they would be excited or maybe they would just see, some of his artwork and he would get to talk with them. And it seemed like everybody always left his booth with a smile on their face.
Yeah, we love our con community because of encouraging people, and David really exemplifies that idea of just encouragement. And it doesn't matter what your interest or fandom, he has a word and a smile and a great story to tell, and just makes everybody happy.
He did, exactly.
This year we lost a great man and a good friend of mine. He's a great artist and a great guy. David Faught, he is a temporary person. He represented the art community and the comic book industry well, better than well. And this year, sister will receive an award in David's behalf for Fanatics and the Fan. Our hearts break, but we remember him and we love him.